Yeah. What's up, everybody? You're listening to Pulp Diction, and my name is Alan Haig, obviously. So in the last episode, the Q&A, I didn't realize this, but I loaded up the Miserlou song, the theme song from Pulp Fiction. You guys know that? By the way, we're all drunk as fuck right now, so...
You are.
Shout out to Eric Amrine. But I didn't realize that when I turned the microphone off on that song, it kept recording that song. So the first 5 minutes of my Q&A were essentially me talking with that song blaring over me. And what's hilarious is, at the end of the episode, I said, I'm sure I'll do something stupid in the future, but what I didn't realize was I had done something stupid at the beginning of that episode. But we're here for our Halloween party. I promised everyone I would do a Drunkcast.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sitting here with my first guest on the podcast, actually. Oh, no. Speaking of something stupid, I just spilled my Winter Park all over my chair. No, I didn't. So we're here with Eric Amrine. Say hello, Eric.
It's Ericles.
Ericles Amrine, in honor of the Toga party. And Jadakiss, would you say that?
Jadakiss, I like it.
Jadakiss Veselis Elias.
Veselis is already a good.
Whatever. Isn't Toga? Let's talk about the origin of Toga. Is that Roman?
In part.
In part, that's Roman. So, Eric, I was talking to some people about cultural appropriation. All right. And
I figure that comes up often in your life.
Yeah, well, I'm the most culturally appropriative person I know.
Absolutely.
But
I wholeheartedly agree with that statement.
Thank you, Eric. Why don't we move closer together so you guys can get the essence of Eric Glees? So some people argue that in order to dress up as a person from another culture, you truly have to understand that culture. Do you agree with that, Eric?
It's a good question, Alan. It's a really good question. I feel that you should avoid making generalizations about any demographic or any particular stereotype. So, a costume is one thing. However, making those generalizations is another, and I think that's where the line is crossed.
It's a very good, general, broad statement, Eric.
Thank you.
I can tell you didn't want to piss anybody off with that one. But we shouldn't be afraid to say exactly what you think on this podcast. And that may be exactly what you think. But I think we have a culture now where people are actively looking for something to be upset about. Because let's face it, we are first world people. Our problems are very limited. So we kind of try to take issue with things when and wherever we can. Now, I have a very abstract question for you.
I'd love to hear it.
And this doesn't necessarily fully apply to what we were saying, but it does deal with the idea of cultural appropriation and stereotypes.
Sure.
So, I have a lot of homosexual friends. Homosexual friends.
Yep.
Okay? Now, a homosexual is just another person, obviously. But sometimes they can feel pressured to act a certain way that fits into a stereotype of a homosexual.
You doing okay, Nico?
Have you seen that happen before?
I was just trying to... You're talking about gender
Yeah,
identification?
I think that I think that almost anyone has seen that, and it's an unfortunate circumstance, regardless of race, nationality, sex, gender preference, sexual preference. Everyone should feel absolutely free to act however they want to. There should never be any concern for stereotypes.
You are exactly right, Eric. Now, the culture that's kind of happened right now. Well, I brought that up for one reason, and it's that this idea of cultural appropriation and race and culture is very sensitive right now. But when a homosexual does that, do they appropriate their own culture? You don't need to answer that.
No, it's okay. I will. Everyone pretty much can think back to their younger days. Let's say junior high here for this example. People, pretty much everyone feels a need to fit in, to really play the part, so to speak. And so I don't think that there is any kind of appropriation made there, so much as just people's natural inclination to want to be accepted, and it shouldn't be looked down upon. It's a natural tendency for anyone in the culture that we have, and pretty much any culture throughout history, to do.
And that's exactly right, Eric. I think I'm a pretty prime example of that. I tend to act a certain way, and that allows me to fit in more. And it is very archetypical and stereotypical.
Gender identification.
Kind of just...
I had to throw that in there.
That was Nico Sandoval. Shout out to him. Woo! Nico, you're going to be...
I need to go say hello to a few people. It's been a pleasure speaking with you all here.
I think to wrap this up, I think people need to not be so sensitive about current interminglings between cultures, all right? We'll talk to you guys next time on Pulp Diction.